Hello everyone. So in this video we will see how to make a video doorbell or smart AI based doorbell using CodeSkool Scratch. So there is a doorbell and when you press the button, a camera will take a picture and send it to your mobile device as a push notification. So for example, let's say instead of push button you have a PIR sensor, and let's say you are not at home and the PIR motion sensor has detected some motion and it has triggered some interrupt, and using that interrupt the program actually captured the image and send it to your mobile device as a push notification that somebody is roaming in your front yard. So instead of like interrupt based programming, you can use sensors also. For example, you can use ultrasonic distance sensor to figure out if some parcel is placed at your main door, and then it would take a picture and send it to your mobile device. So we had already seen a demo where like we were using that WhatsApp and like we are like continuously polling the GPIO state and sending notification on the WhatsApp. But I wanted it to do it in a much better way, where instead of like polling I will use interrupt, and instead of like running a native application and like sending WhatsApp alert, I would use Google push notification and completely in the web browser. So this project is not about 3D printing or electronics, but assume you have a nice beautiful PCB with ESP32 cam and some beautiful enclosures, and using that you can create your own doorbell. But we will talk about from the scratch coding perspective and about learning the concept. So the one of the requirement is you would require a Cloudinary account. So you can create a account using any temp email, and you need to give your account name, and then in the upload setting you have to create a preset which is unsigned, and the access mode is public. Unsigned mean like you don't require any key, and access mode public means like whatever you are uploading is accessible publicly online. So you need the upload preset and you need the cloud account name. So apart from that you would require two different ESP32 board. On the first board you need to install that ESP32 blocks, and on the second block, which is your ESP32 cam, you have to install this Tasmota webcam. Now I will not be going into much details about how to install it because we had already seen that thing in our previous videos. So basically you just click install and like select the correct COM port and proceed it. You have to like press your boot cell button and like release it once you click the erase button, and like the installation begins. So you can go and watch the previous videos if you want more details on how to install the firmware. So this will install the firmware using the browser itself. You just need a USB to TTL for the ESP32 cam, and you need to configure it. Like I will not go into much details, but like in the previous videos we have shown how to configure the Wi-Fi and other details. So once you have the ESP32 cam running our Tasmota webcam software, you will see the interface like that. So like you have to do some configurations. For example, in the configure other you have to provide this template and click activate and then save. Similarly in the console you have to go into the console and you have to type few commands. So I will be providing this detail like this template and all those things in the video description, and these are the commands that you need to run line by line. Like you just copy it from here and run it on the console and press enter key. So you can find the details in the video description, or you can go to our Discord community and you can ask any question there. The other thing you need to do is like you need to enable the notifications and you need to enable the insecure content. So the notification is like for sending the push notifications, and insecure content is like connecting the WebSocket which is not SSL, which is running on your ESP32 device with the browser. The other problem is like we cannot access this URL because this is also like a Tasmota URL, and like this is not a SSL URL, so you cannot use it on this SSL website. It would create issues. So to resolve that, we can install that ngrok software. So you just download this file and unzip it and like run it on the command prompt. So the parameters would be like ngrok http, and instead of port 80 you have to give that complete URL and like port 81. So this is the command that you need to run, and once you run this command it would map this particular URL to this particular HTTPS URL. So you need to copy this HTTPS URL and you can test it like you just press this URL and colon stream, then it should like show that stream. Now once you are logged into your account, just connect your ESP32 blocks, go into example, and we'll load the smart video doorbell example. So now here you have to provide that ngrok URL colon stream, and you need to provide your own Cloudinary account name and upload preset because I will be removing those shortly. So let's go the program line by line. So first thing you need to define is a starting point. So like when this green flag is clicked, the first thing you do is set the camera as stream, web stream. So instead of a like a native device like a USB webcam, we are using a web stream. Then we have to provide this HTTPS URL to that web stream. So once you have that web stream URL and you have set the camera mode as web stream, you need to set your Cloudinary account details, account name, and the upload preset. Now this command would request the notification. So once you have allowed the notification in the pop-up, it would do the other background tasks and set up the event handler for push notification, messaging handling, and other things. So this is the Arduino code. So the ESP32 board, on that ESP32 board, we are setting the GPIO 18 like pin number 18 as input mode, and we are attaching an interrupt. So whenever there is a change, for example, I have set it to rising. So whenever the pin goes from a low state to a high state, it would trigger an interrupt. So we are attaching an interrupt to this pin, and we have to provide a interrupt service name. So this name and this name should match. So this would assign the pin mode and the attach interrupt. So you can go and watch our previous videos where we have explained like instead of using just a single statement, we are using like different blocks of code to do the thing, and like instead of using a simple name, we are using the Arduino API names so that the kids can learn something. So I had explained the concept behind CodeSkool philosophy of how we have designed this API and code blocks in much detail in our previous videos. So this is the interrupt service routine. So when this bell is pressed and like this interrupt is called, it would call this function. And the first thing it would do is it would start the sound of the doorbell. So I have a doorbell sound here. The second thing is like it would set a recipient to user token. So the first thing it would find a user token and then set the recipient to that user token. So user token is kind of your machine ID kind of thing which the Google would require. to send the notification to that particular device. So instead of like using the user token of the same device, you can like fetch the user token from your mobile phone and you can provide that user token here. But I am like demoing it on the same machine, so I am using the same user token generated here and setting the recipient as self. In the next thing, in the next block, what we are doing is like we are capturing the image from camera. So this is a base64 image data URI, and this data URI we need to store it somewhere in the cloud to provide a public image URL. So we are doing the same, storing the image and getting a public image URL, and we are setting that public image URL as a notification thumbnail. So once we have set the notification thumbnail and set the notification recipient, we can send the notification, and we are like setting the title as door alert and sending a message like somebody is waiting at the main door. So let's just run the demo. So like first thing I need to do is like check whether my board is connected. So once my board is connected, I'll just run the program. So as you can see, like it has started the camera stream. So the camera stream is already started and I have connected a button module which has already a pull up pull down kind of a resistor, and I have connected it to my GPIO 18 pin on my ESP32 dev board. So whenever I press that button, it would trigger a interrupt and this interrupt service routine will get called, and it would like start the doorbell sound and send a notification, and this notification will be displayed here. So the interrupt is triggered and you can see like the camera feed image here and like that notification title and message. So currently like this is the foreground window, so the notification I am handling it the software and showing it like that. But if this window is closed or like I am in some other window, then what will happen is like Google Chrome will show the default notification. For example, I'll just change the tab and now I press the button again. So you will see the Google Chrome will show you the alert. So similarly, like you can send this kind of alert to your mobile phones. You just need to provide the token which you receive from your mobile phone using this user token API, and you need to provide the recipient to that token. Now I have kept this example like really simple, like just few blocks, like 10-12 blocks maybe, but you can like extend it further using our facial recognition extension or other extension. So basically what you can do is like you can analyze that image from that camera, and if it detects some pre-trained faces, so like it has detected the house owner in that image. So if it has detected the face of the house owner in that image, what you can do is like you can use that Arduino digital right kind of thing to trigger some solenoid to open the door lock. So this is just an example, like you can do a lot more with our more than 65 extensions. So as you have seen like how easy it is to use CodeSkool Scratch to create like really complex program. So the kids don't need to go into the details like how the ESP32 cam is working or how the Google push notification work. They can understand the concept, the technologies, and the overall picture of how you program your code. Like what are the steps, and like what are these new technologies and how these technologies work. So they can write their own code and they can get a feel of like how this modern technologies work and how they can create like next generation technological products using CodeSkool Scratch. So I hope you like this tutorial of how you can create a smart AI based video doorbell using CodeSkool Scratch. So please do share, subscribe and like this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.